Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
KFI AM 640, Mr. Bo Kelly here. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. I tell you, if I could get these guys to concentrate on the show as much as they do, try to concentrate on ordering food on Friday nights, this show would be pretty damn good. I can't tell you how many text messages have gone back and forth, high and low, near and far, about what we're going to eat tonight. Nobody wanted to talk about the show, okay? Twala didn't do anything. He didn't put anything together. I have no audio. I have no stories to talk about. No one pulled any movies. It's all bedlam. Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria. Hi, guys.
I wouldn't tolerate that if I were you.
True story. It started relatively early today. I think it was Stefan who's the first one. I think you were.
It was me.
It was early. And he said, so what are we eating tonight? It's like, damn it, I'm finishing my breakfast.
Oh, yeah. What time did that come in?
It was early.
It was, I'll say that. It was pretty early.
I'm thinking like, what?
Because I think about it before I have to leave.
Who's thinking about dinner in the morning?
Yeah, here we go. 11:34 a.m.
There you go.
He's thinking ribs.
Ribs USA at 11:34. I love it.
Oh my goodness! And I'm thinking like, okay, well, all right, Twala, handle it. You guys work it out amongst yourselves. It's not like Stefan was trying to be proactive. It's like, hey, is there anything you need me to pull as far as movies or sound clips or audio for the show tonight? It wasn't like Twala was saying like, hey, Mo, do you need anything? Do you need any help? Or are we good for the night? I got these stories. Mark, he was still asleep at that time, so I already need to ask.
Were you dreaming about ribs? Did you wake up wanting ribs? Or are you like a Warner Brothers character who sees like a really explicit... Like,
I say.
Yeah. I'm not saying I don't do that too. It's a reasonable question. Fair enough.
This has turned into the Fork Report, where we just talk about food, all the food that we want to eat, that we didn't get to eat, that we might get to eat. Are we actually getting food tonight? Because people are listening want to know. Not that they care. People listening want to know what we're actually going to get to eat tonight.
It's
a Friday night.
Yes, the food is happening.
Do they really though? Do they want to hear us masticating on the air?
No.
Do they care?
I do get messages from folks like, well, why don't you get food from such and such a place or such and such and such? It's like, look, I'm at the mercy of those who are around me. I keep trying to tell people, you order the food. I'll put in my order and then I'll pay for the food. But you got to order it. I don't want to be tied down dealing with the mundane, the banal things which are unimportant.
The what?
Banal.
Pronunciation's everything with certain words. You know?
You Ace Olay.
I hate those banal beads. This is definitely a Friday show.
Hey, Twala, what is on the show tonight? Okay, here it is. We're talking about the LA fires, how it could contaminate worse than it already is contaminated. Marine food chain. In other words, all the fish that we're fishing out in the ocean, it could be contaminated by the fires, more so than just the poop alone. California Assembly Democrats announced plans to leave X over disinformation and hate speech. The California Assembly Democrats are in unison on this issue, and they are leaving that social media platform. We'll tell you about that and also why. And the most important item for discussion, Applebee's and IHOP are merging or have merged. They're merging buildings and menu. They are, I'm being serious now. They're mixing their food together.
Are they merging the name like Hopplebee's or something?
I was thinking like Apple Hop or IB.
Apple Hop.
601.
It's one of those. You got to. Well, I saw
Apple
a picture.
Hop. No, they have to have a whole new chain.
No, they're keeping it. They're just pushing it together. They'll have IHOP on one side of the building, Applebee's on the other.
No. I got the perfect one. Perfect one for you, Mo. International House of Bees.
Don't laugh at that, Tuala. I feel like you're mocking me. I feel attacked.
Never.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, now you got to get on it. You haven't given a rim shot all damn week. All damn week.
Fair
and
enough.
now you wake up. Now, wait a minute. You're supposed to give him a rim shot after I pay for the food, not before.
Buzz on into the International House of Bees.
Don't give him a sound effect. Don't touch the button. Oh, you gave him a rim shot as well?
That was good.
You got to have that bee sound right on your desktop there, Foosh.
He's not paying attention. Now
Not ready. Yeah, I'm just thinking about
he's
this.
He's like
happy
in and
place.
out of his coma.
Yeah.
But when we come back, we're going to tell you about the LA fires, how they possibly have been contaminating our marine food chain. That's next. It's later with Mo Kelly. The weekend is here. KFI AM 640 live everywhere. The iHeartRadio.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
App.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And we've talked often about how nasty and dirty our beaches are. Well, I have more bad news. And this doesn't necessarily impact beachgoers, but it could impact our food supply. Because levels of lead and other heavy metals have been spiking in the coastal waters off of LA since the January fires. And there are concerns because of that. Long-term health of fish, marine mammals, and the marine food chain. Contaminant levels from sampled water, we're told at least, weren't high enough to pose likely health risks to recreational beachgoers. We're told. We're told that even at relatively low concentrations, on the other hand, these metals can damage cells and disrupt reproduction and other biological processes in sea animals, where, again, it may not bother us directly as casual beachgoers, but it can impact sea life and also what we may eat from our oceans. Here's why. The metals accumulate in the tissues of animals exposed to them and then make their way up the food chain as those organisms are eaten by larger ones. And you're thinking like, well, what are we talking about exactly? We're talking about beryllium, copper, chromium, nickel, lead, and at levels 2 to 4 times higher than the maximum allowed under California state law. Everything a growing boy needs. Now, here's the thing that concerns me the most. If you weren't really paying attention, you might have missed this story. If you weren't really scouring the news, you might have missed this. And for someone who is always conscious about what is going on in the water, and I say stay out of the water just for our own benefit, just for our own day-to-day health, because we know how polluted our beaches are on a normal, everyday basis. Now, when you put into the equation these added pollutants of lead, nickel, chromium, copper, and how invariably it's going to impact marine life all the way up to what we may find in our stores, then you got to know, like, wait a minute, they're really soft shoeing this story. This is something which is actually serious. At the Santa Monica Pier and Dockweiler Beach, both of which are south of the burn scar, levels of both lead and chromium were roughly triple California's safety threshold for marine life. You would think that this is a bigger deal. At the Santa Monica test location after the rains, the level of beryllium, a metal that is toxic to fish and corals and causes respiratory distress in humans, get this, was more than 10 times the maximum limit allowed. And let me go back to the beginning. Whereas the article says that if you're just a casual beach goer, it's probably not harmful to you because you're not ingesting the fish. How confident should you be in that? Because we know that the beaches are routinely polluted, and we're always getting these alerts about how you need to stay out of the water. And then you're saying that almost basically the fish aren't even safe in their own water. Now, I'm not a person who is real big on seafood. I will eat my, salmon. I'll eat some cod every now and then, but it's not like I have a diet which is just full of seafood. But my wife, on the other hand, she swears by it. She lives by it. And I wonder how it's going to impact us long term. I think a reasonable person would wonder about how this would impact us long term. And let me just ask Stefan very quickly. Stefan, I know you're busy, but you're not that busy because you're usually ignoring us.
Okay.
Are you a seafood person? And if so, and fish and chips doesn't count. Are you a seafood person? And if so, what do you usually eat?
Not a seafood person, but my go-to is always salmon.
Okay, that's mine as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know where it's coming from. In other words, like if I get my salmon from Ralph's, I don't know exactly where it's coming from.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I just don't know.
The origin of...
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if it's farmed. I don't know any of that because I'm limited in my knowledge. But when I see this, I am concerned long term what this means for our marine food supply. Because the title is clear. We should be concerned. LA fire contaminant levels could sicken the marine food chain. And just being at the top of the food chain doesn't mean that we're also safe just being at the top of the food chain. Now, I'm good with salmon. As I said, I'll eat some cod. On occasion, I've had some eel. Going out for sushi. As a matter of fact, every time we have a Hop Keto Studio belt test, after the test, we always go out for sushi or some sort of seafood. I have to look at this kind of differently now. Not that I'm going to be scared of everything, but I would have to be concerned. And I don't think, Mark, you're not a seafood guy, are you?
I am. Yeah, of course.
What do you eat? Well, I don't know. Of course, I don't know what your diet is.
Well, I mean, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, so it's the law. You have to eat a certain amount of seafood each week, or you'll have a black bag put over your head, and you'll get shoved into a van and sent to South America.
Well, I mean, I live in L.A., and I don't think of this as a seafood town, honestly.
I don't know. I was actually curious where you go to get your sushi after your Hop Keto practice, because I've been looking for new places.
Oh.
But if you don't want to say it on the air, you can wait. I'm really careful about what I eat because you want to make sure that it's not farm raised, it's wild caught, and X, Y, and Z other things.
I have a couple of places. I don't know if I should tell you. I have to think about that because it's not a hole in the wall, but there are only like 3 tables there. And if I say it, then everyone will know about it.
Oh, yeah, don't wreck it. There's a sushi truck in my neighborhood, and sushi and truck are just counterintuitive to slap together, but it's pretty good. And I'm not going to tell anybody the name of that either.
Now, I know, Tuwala, you're kind of a seafood person, kind of. I know from your gumbo, there's that aspect of it. Does this give you pause now for your gumbo?
It does. It gives me pause for my gumbo. It gives me pause for my catfish, which I love. It gives me pause for my salmon. All the seafood dishes that I make, I love seafood. Even though when it comes to sushi, I'll go and get a good Whole Foods sushi combo.
Really?
Whole Foods has really good sushi.
When I go there, I see the sushi, but I never get the sushi. I'll get like the California rolls, maybe with some crab meat, but I'm thinking that sushi's been sitting out there for 8-9 hours.
No, you can get some fresh sushi made. You don't have to get.
Oh, because I'm looking in the boxes like in that front part. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. No, those you get the California rolls.
Okay, right.
That's you get the California roll, good sir. Yes,
because they're like, wait a minute, that is had to have been out there at least 6-7 hours.
But don't all the California rolls have that nasty fake crab in them?
Yeah, for the most part.
I don't like that stuff. I'm against it.
But I'm not going to Whole Foods for sushi. That's my point. If I'm going to get sushi, I'm going to go to an actual sushi place.
Yeah, you don't go to a restaurant that doesn't sell something and get that. Like when McDonald's had those chicken wings. Horrible.
Right.
Horrible.
I'm not going to Wiener Schnitzel to get a hamburger. And they sell some hamburgers. Like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, so if Carl's Jr. starts selling spicy tuna rolls, maybe avoid that.
Carl's Jr., I'm not going to McDonald's for a salad. No, I'm not. And some people do. And it's like, you just kind of defeat the purpose. But okay, you can get a good salad anywhere else other than McDonald's. But I know some people who will actually do that. It's like, that's just torture. If you're going to walk in McDonald's, buy your ass a hamburger, a cheeseburger, a double cheeseburger or something, but not a salad. There's just something intuitively wrong. But anyhow, I have to see if I'm going to tell you about the sushi place. I'm very partial to it. They do good business. They don't need any advertisement from me.
Can you send it to me over a Signal chat?
Everybody might find out then.
Oh, no.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Okay, Mark, a few friends of mine hit me during the break saying, Mo, just shout out the restaurant. Last segment, we were talking about one of my favorite sushi places, and I said we would always go after a hot keto belt test. We have a belt test tomorrow, and so we'll probably go to this place again tomorrow. And it's really good. I'm hesitant to shout them out because that means everyone's going to go there. It's Tomi Sushi. It's Tomi Sushi. It's on the way, like if you're going to Venice Beach, down Culver Boulevard, west on Culver Boulevard. It's 12740 Culver Boulevard. We probably go there maybe 3-4 times. I would say about maybe twice a month on average. It's just really, really good. They give you a lot of food. It's well done. It's quick. Tomi Sushi. That's what I swear by. So if you should ever be in the neighborhood, Mark.
Yes.
I'll treat you to Tomi Sushi.
You got a deal.
Now, Stefan, he's in the neighborhood, but I don't know. Stefan, are you big on sushi?
I'll tackle some sushi.
Okay, you're just not picky. Do you have any preference when it comes to sushi? If not, no biggie.
No, I don't have any preference.
Okay, I do. I
think I know what the place you're talking. I think I've driven past it, probably picked up people or dropped people off.
It's at a strip mall.
Oh, then no. But sounds good.
Oh, it's really, really good, and you'll run into some people there because it's well known within the neighborhood. You'll see some recognizable people. That's all I'll say. Sometimes you'll see some celebrities and people who go in there.
And do they have good sushi eating manners, or do they eat like filthy savages?
For the most part, everyone is sushi literate.
Yeah.
They're not using forks. They're using chopsticks. The food doesn't take a long time to get to you. They're preparing it in front of you, so it's not like they're just pulling it out the refrigerator or something. It's always really, really good.
Do you have a favorite sushi dish?
There's a baked salmon, and the eel is very good. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I thought I was going to hate it. We have a tradition at our studio. Whenever you get black belt or someone else gets black belt, we all have eel. It's one of those acquired tastes.
I think eel tastes pretty good.
It's a little meaty. It's a little chewy to me.
But you're going to a sushi restaurant, and the two things you just described are cooked fish.
You got that right.
You don't like any of the raw stuff?
You got that right.
Why are you going into a sushi restaurant and getting cooked fish?
No. Sushi is a preparation style. It's not necessarily uncooked, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it doesn't make any difference. I'm declaring you a hostile witness. Answer the question.
No.
Why don't you like the raw fish?
When I get the salmon, that is raw.
Uh-huh.
If I get the salmon rolls, that's raw. They also offer the baked salmon. I can't recite the menu to you off the top of my head.
Well, no, but it just sounds to me like you might as well just be ordering like a Gorton's fish stick that's been cooked when you go to one of these places.
No,
you're meant to eat the raw fish.
Yeah, I know. And I usually get the raw salmon.
Now, have you ever been to Kura Sushi?
Where is that? I don't think so, but where is that?
There's a couple locations. One is in like the heart of downtown LA, and then one is closer to me, actually, and closer to you in Gardena. And it's essentially like the typical sushi place with the conveyor belt going around.
Is it on Western by chance?
I don't.
How's it spelled?
Yeah. Kura. Kura.
Those conveyor belt places are a lot of fun.
It's really cool because
there's one in Torrance, as a matter of fact.
182nd. 182nd. There you go.
182nd. Okay, in Torrance. Yeah, it's on the border. Okay.
So essentially, you can take the sushi off the conveyor belt, but what's really cool is you can place an order on a screen, and it'll just deliver it right to your spot, whether you're at a table or you're sitting down. It'll come out on a conveyor belt right to you. So if you want like the raw salmon, you don't see any on the belt, you put it on there and ding.
The only thing more fun than a conveyor belt sushi place would be a place that brings you your food on a little choo-choo train on a track.
Exactly.
Okay, we all agree.
Now, I've been to Koi in West Hollywood. That's pretty good. KOI.
I've heard that. It's pretty good, yeah.
But that's about it. Those are the only places that I usually go consistently. Mark, you haven't found any regular places out here yet in just 6 years?
Just the truck in my neighborhood. It's a pretty good deal, and I've got it narrowed down to the same thing pretty much every time. And it's a massive amount of food, and I just have to lie there like a beached whale when I'm finished with it.
All right, so next time you want to hang out with us, I'll take you to Tomi Sushi, and then you can rate that against everything that you've had.
That sounds California good to me. I like the you paying part. I think that's terrific.
Oh, my goodness. Let me talk about these California Assembly Democrats very quickly. They've announced plans to leave the social media site X over what they say is disinformation and hate speech. 57 Democratic Assembly members announced yesterday they would stop all communications from their official state accounts on X, citing their concerns over lack of content moderation, disinformation, and hate speech. Quote, and this is California Assembly Speaker Robert Rivas. There are real risks with relying on a private company owned by Elon Musk as a channel for communications. Democracy depends on impartial information, not the shifting whims of one billionaire. Hate speech is everywhere on X. The company has no accountability, and the flood of misinformation from fake accounts is just that, fake. I don't think taxpayer resources should go to X, close quote. When he says taxpayer resources, he's probably talking about for any of these government accounts, I think they have to pay to get their check mark. And that's part of the reason why when Elon Musk, he came in, he changed the whole check mark process. All the people who had legacy checks like me, we lost our checks and you had to pay for your checks. And I left X, but it had to do with the hate speech and the lack of content moderation. I don't care too much about the disinformation because I don't think of Twitter, I'm not going to call it X, Twitter as a news dissemination platform. It is social media. You kind of get what you get, and you can either put up with it or not. But I don't hold Twitter to some standard where it needs to filter out disinformation. I'm quite sure Mark would disagree with me.
I worked on this story last night, actually, and there was a quote in the story about hate speech on Twitter having increased by 50% right after Elon Musk bought the platform. And his own grok has found him to be the biggest spreader of disinformation on it as well. Now, I'm still on there, not in any capacity for KFI, just as a private schmo. And there's still some good information to be had on there if you follow the right people and are judicious about how you consume your news. But there is a ton of garbage on there now.
Yeah, the hate speech was just too much, and it's coming from trolls, anonymous accounts who say anything and everything, also knowing that there is a lack of content moderation, which what I was talking about. And I said, well, there's no need for me to be on here. I'm not just going to put my bat signal out there just to be a target for everyone. So I just left. It didn't have any real utility for me. The Democrats, I think it's more grandstanding than actual utility. There are any number of ways that they can reach constituents. You don't need Twitter/X to reach constituents.
Well, the algorithm tailors itself to you to some degree, at least. You can't filter out all the garbage. But whenever I get on a thread with a bunch of trolls, it's just astonishing to me that people don't understand when to shut up sometimes. If you have nothing to contribute, if you have no actual information or even a funny wisecrack and you're just a worthless troll, what's the point of any of this? Also, for God's sakes, we've got to start having people identify themselves by their actual names so they feel a little less anonymous and free to just indulge their ids and just empty out the whole id.
Clubhouse tried to do that. They required it. It didn't go anywhere because there is a profit incentive as far as unique users and also traffic to have these bots, to have these trolls, to have these anonymous users to engage. Yes, you would have less engagement. Yes, you would have fewer unique users if you required everyone to actually take off the mask and act a certain way.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Not everything should be motivated by money. I mean, that's such an anti-American thing of me to say.
So altruistic.
I know, yeah. But I think if you dig down, you'll find that disinformation is at the root of a lot of things that we're dealing with right now that we wish we hadn't.
But they're competing interests. You know, there are people on there who just want to be able to say whatever they want because they can't do it in real life. There are a lot of things that people will say to me, knowing good and damn well they do not have the balls to say it to me in person. I would rather you say it to me in person and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, but it's like the online version of that clip that we always see about the two dogs barking at each other from either side of a fence, and then when the fence is lifted up, they quiet down.
Yeah, with the exception of, I'm actually serious. In other words, if you were to say that exact same thing to me in person,
you'd cry.
Yes, I would cry.
Like a
I would
baby.
cry. That's exactly what would happen.
You'd start blubbering right there.
And I always ask people, I hope you're very committed to what you are saying. I hope you're very committed because there's certain things I don't play with. I just don't play around. And people say, oh, Mo, you're just trying to talk like you're Billy Badass. No, I'm not. I'm just saying there's certain things I am not ever going to accept or deal with. That's why I left Twitter, because it's just, I'm not putting up with this, with these random people who have either the private profiles or they're using fake names and fake pictures so they can get off some N-words or some other stuff to me, which they would never say in person.
When in leaving Twitter, you deprived me of an enormous amount of entertainment because you got in some pretty epic arguments with people.
Oh, I did, and it was fun on some level. Then after a certain point, it wasn't helpful as far as booking guests. It wasn't helpful as far as spreading the show or sharing information. It just got to be a fight every single day. So, you know, it's like, whatever. I'll spend my time elsewhere. There was no real return on that investment.
I miss booking guests. That was a great resource.
It was a great resource because back then, going back to the check marks, you knew that you were either talking to the person or the person managing the social media account who could directly contact the person.
Yeah. When you could buy those check marks, then it was like, and I remember I reached out to someone and they said, thank you. This is such and such's fan club. We will make sure to spread them. And I'm like, delete.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
And a perfect example before we go to break, one of the best examples was when we got Vincent D'Onofrio. Thank you, Twitter. And he came on and talked about the 35th anniversary of Full Metal Jacket. And also he had just started working as Kingpin and how he wanted to get into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Twitter had a purpose.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Back then. It doesn't anymore.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
I love IHOP. Don't go there all that often, but when I have the opportunity to go, it's usually a great experience. I was telling Tim Conway Jr., I've been to Applebee's maybe twice in my life. I I remember once with my father, and this is maybe 6-7 years ago, and maybe one other time that I've forgotten, but I haven't been there all that often. It's just a random comfort food restaurant as far as I was concerned. Never in my life would I ever imagine that IHOP and Applebee's were joining forces. I get it. The restaurant industry is tough enough as it is. You got to find alliances wherever you can. But this is a match made somewhere, not in heaven.
It's a question families ask every day. What's for dinner? And unless you are at a mall food court, everyone usually has to decide on one type of food. But now one restaurant operator is offering variety when families decide to go out for their next meal by combining two popular chains under one roof. Dine Brands recently opened its first dual brand concept restaurant in the U.S., featuring both an Applebee's and an IHOP.
In February, we opened our first U.S. dual brand location in Seguin, Texas. The restaurant is a stunning renovation of an existing IHOP and has exciting dishes on the menu that are exclusive to dual brands, including buffalo chicken omelets.
Huh? Buffalo chicken omelets?
Who would eat that?
Not me.
Buffalo chicken omelets, mimosas, and espresso martinis.
Espresso martinis?
We've got to go one way or the other.
Certain stuff don't go together.
Yeah.
Well, come on now.
No. That omelet thing, no. No, thank you. But espresso martinis, have you ever had one?
Don't plan to.
Let me tell you something, Foosh. As a former bartender, if somebody came up to the bar and asked me for one of those, I'd 86 them.
Espresso
and they'd
martinis.
86 you because it's a regular thing.
For
who?
For D-bags.
I promise you. Try it one day and you'll see.
I think not.
I might be on an island right now, but I'm telling you.
There's some things that I can go without doing, even though I have limited time left on this earth. I know I have more time behind me than in front of me. This is not on my bucket list. Not at all. Not a buffalo chicken omelet, not an espresso martini.
Depends on what kind of bucket.
That are exclusive to dual brands, including buffalo chicken omelets, mimosas, and espresso martinis.
Wait a minute. Is he saying that mimosas and espresso martinis are in the same drink?
No.
Oh, no.
Because mimosas is not special.
No, that's not. No, that's two different drinks.
Okay.
Mimosas and espresso martinis. In its opening week, the restaurant achieved sales of almost 3 times the amount of its performance as a standalone IHOP.
John Payton, the CEO of the Pasadena, California company, says that it's only just the beginning, with more dual brand locations on the way.
I've never walked into, let's say, a breakfast restaurant like IHOP and thought, you know what? It would be even better if I combined dinner with my breakfast. I've never walked in and thought, and this is part of the reason why I don't like chicken and waffles. This is a perfect example. I'll get waffles, but I won't get chicken and waffles.
And yet, you've got the nerve to say that while you've argued with me before about eating breakfast foods for dinner?
No, I can eat breakfast foods at any time. I'm talking about mixing breakfast and dinner foods. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll have pancakes at 10 o'clock at night, not even blink. I'll have it at 1:30 in the morning like I did when I used to leave the clubs.
Oh, man.
That's the best time to get some greasy food and then go and drop off into a coma-like trance and go to sleep. Oh, good times. But I'm not going to get pancakes and steak. I don't even eat steak and eggs. I'm being very serious.
Well, that's one of those old-timey foods. Like, your grandparents would go to a restaurant and get cream chip beef on toast and order steak and eggs. That's pretty heavy stuff.
The closest I would get to that is biscuits and Southern-style gravy. That's the closest I would get to it.
I've never had that, and during the years I lived in Indiana, went to Purdue, worked at a paper there, everybody ate that all the time, and I can't understand why that's a thing.
It's kind of a breakfast food in my mind because the biscuit can go either way. The Southern style gravy usually has sausage in it, which says to me breakfast food.
It's grotesque. You should throw it.
Are you serious?
Put it on the ground and throw sawdust on it like a high school janitor. It makes no sense.
There's
to me.
something wrong with you, Mark. I don't know what it is, but there's something wrong with you.
It looks grotesque.
How can you object to Southern style gravy?
I'd like to object to it at a high velocity.
Very strenuously.
Yes.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
Stimulating talk for independent thought.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.